You thought you'd seen the last of Wolverine, didn't you? We did too. All of us were equally baffled when Hugh Jackman announced that he'd be reprising the role once more. We mean, you'll hear no complaints from us. We have been dying to see him slash through his enemies again. But what made him change his mind? Watch this video to find out. First up, I'm coming back for you. To say Logan's ending was sad is a disservice. In fact, we can only describe it as having our hearts cut out from our chest and beaten to a pulp, and then being made to drink it. Is that a colorful enough description? Still, when we laid Logan to rest, we thought that's it. The worst is over, but apparently not. Earlier this year, Jackman announced that he'd play the mutant again for Deadpool 3, but there were so many questions he left unanswered until now. The first question was obviously why. Turns out we have Ryan Reynolds to thank for that. The X-Men actor was seriously considering retirement after Logan. He hadn't had a day off in years, and he just wanted some peace. So he told the team that he'd retire Wolverine after Logan, and he really meant it. Then things took a different turn. He was 20 minutes into the first Deadpool movie, and it just clicked. He wasn't done, even though he told everyone he was. Seeing that movie made him want to don the adamantium claws again. So he called his buddy Ryan and said a simple what if. All he asked was, "Are you serious?" And the Green Hornet actor got to work. He pushed him to come back relentlessly until he gave in. Now, that's a friend indeed. But that still doesn't solve the issue that Logan is dead. Unless they plan on doing some Avengers Endgame type stuff, we don't see how this could work. No complaints still, just pointing out the obvious, that's all. Next up, make it work. Obviously, a few things had to move around to have a dead man in the movie. The first thing to fix is the timeline. According to Hugh, the movie will take place before Logan, so Wolverine is still alive at the time his paths cross with Deadpool. Other than that though, no one knows. The Music Man actor said that we'd see Wolverine's people-averse parts in the movie. He's more angry, acerbic, and grumpy. While the character is pretty cranky to begin with, we don't know if it's even possible to make him more so, but Jackman promised he would do it. It'll certainly be interesting to see the dynamic between Ryan's snarky vigilante and Jackman's angry mutant. As it turns out, he can't wait either. He said that he couldn't wait to reprise his role and get back into Logan's mind. He's going to take a lot of free shots at Deadpool and have the time of his life doing it. That all makes the movie seem very promising. We'll be honest, after all, Ryan and the creators wouldn't have gone through all that hassle and red tape to get him to play the role for nothing. It's all going to be worth it pretty soon. Till then, we'll binge the X-Men universe and get into the zone. Coming up, get in shape. But the 54-year-old actor didn't say goodbye to his favorite character for the heck of it. Becoming Logan is a whole process that takes a toll on him mentally and physically, and he decided he didn't want to do that anymore, or at least he thought he didn't. Even before shooting begins, you must start transforming into the character. For Logan, it begins 5 months before the cameras start rolling. His workout consisted of cardio, weight training, carb cycling, and intermittent fasting. While the first two are self-explanatory, the last two are more niche methods of getting ripped. Obviously, he was lifting heavy weights to build up his muscle, but at the same time, he was following the 16-8 method of fasting. This is where you eat all your food in an 8-hour window and fast for the remaining 16 hours. He slept 8 hours, so that's a full 8 hours in which he couldn't eat. On top of that, he was also eating high-carb foods on training days and low-carb foods on rest days. Such an intense routine obviously affected his life. Now we see why the poor man just wanted to retire his favorite character. All of this sounds so extra, but it's worth it when you see the man in an undershirt taking down bad guys. This time around, too, the routine is proving difficult. Jackman has already apologized to his wardrobe team on The Music Man and his wife, who have to deal with a bulkier version of him. All's well that ends well, no? Also, you've got a friend in me. Enough about Jackman. The real question is, how did Reynolds even come up with this? Was it just him throwing ideas around, hoping one would stick? Or was this much more planned out than we thought? Ever since Disney's acquisition of 20th Century Fox, we have known a crossover would be inevitable, but this is beyond our wildest dreams. And apparently, Ryan's too. Jackman said that the Deadpool actor had been pleading with him almost daily to make it happen, but he'd given up eventually. Right at that moment, Hugh's mind changed, and he decided to give the role another try. But Ryan couldn't believe it. For once, even he couldn't find the words to say. And then all he said was that he couldn't believe the timing of this. Why, though? Well, turns out Ryan was going over to Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige to pitch Deadpool 3. Wolverine's return was what made the movie possible in the first place. Ryan had met with Feige 3 years ago, and Logan's involvement was key to the next film, but luck just wasn't on his side then. But now it finally was. What a dream come true. For Reynolds, this movie is so in his comfort zone. He's going to be with his bestie every day on set. Not only that, they'll play their most iconic character side by side. What more can a man want? We're just jealous we won't be there too. This really does sound like the start of something great. Not to mention, not everyone's happy though. While plenty of X-Men fans are ecstatic, a few are skeptical. Given the emotional send-off that the character received, they think tampering with his story could impact Logan's legacy. Not a bad sentiment, but entirely unnecessary, it seems. Their first concern was that bringing Logan back from the dead undoes all the work the movie did. He'd sacrificed himself for Laura, and trying to change that ending would be an insult to the film. Fine, point taken. If that happens, it's bad, but it won't. Jackman and Reynolds clarified that Logan takes place in 2029, which is much after the events of Deadpool 3, so the legacy remains untouched. Still, some fans remained hesitant about letting Marvel touch their beloved character. The truth is, Marvel has brought back many characters from the dead and done it well. Bucky Barnes, Gamora, and Black Widow are literally some characters off the top of our heads. They know that death may not mean the end of the story, but can be a jumping off point for another. Rest assured, this adventure will not tarnish Logan's death. In fact, it might even help his legacy. Fox was never really good with timelines, let's be honest. There are massive chunks of time unaccounted for. In Wolverine's own story, there's so much time that's just blank. Do you expect us to believe that Weapon X didn't get into trouble during that time? Marvel will simply fill in the blanks and make his story more vivid. All we're saying is give it a chance. Moving on, there are more surprises in store. In case you're not hyped up already, more surprises are coming your way. As we know, Deadpool 3 is set to be released in September 2024. So why announce it now? We think more things are cooking up at Marvel's labs. Some people speculate that we can see Hugh in more movies than we expect. After all, why resurrect him for just one role? Considering Endgame took place in the future, and most Marvel movies are taking place in the 2024 to 2025 time span, Logan has plenty of time to make a few appearances. Feige announced 2 new Avengers movies at the San Diego Comic-Con this year, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. The most common theory is that he can be part of Avengers Secret Wars. The Insider reported that his involvement in Secret Wars is pretty much confirmed, but we still don't know if he has a part in the Kang Dynasty. Still, fingers crossed. He'll be joined by Halle Berry's Storm and other iconic characters from Fox as well. Maybe even Morbius will make an appearance. Though we're not sure that the last one is a good idea. We're all for more of Jackman in the MCU, though Secret Wars won't be released until 2026. All good things to those who wait, right? That's it for today's video. What do you think will happen in the new Deadpool movie? Let us know in the comments below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back soon with another video.